Hey, I'm Jamey from Stonemaier Games, and today I'm excited to talk about the expansion, the Dragon Academy expansion for Wyrmspan. This is largely a more stuff expansion. When you open up this expansion, you're going to take most of the stuff out of the box, shuffle it right into all your other dragon cards and your cave cards in Wyrmspan, but you will replace a few cards. We have a few replacement cards, and one other component that I'll talk about in a minute that you will also replace. There's also a bunch of new guild tiles that you get to add to the game and a few other bonus tiles as well. So largely a really easy expansion to integrate with the core game and one that you can shuffle in and teach without adding any complexity to the game from then on. Few of the additions we added. There's really three relatively big things. I'll start off with the smallest thing that we added. So on some of the dragon cards, you will now see this icon right here. So you have a regular cost. Here's where we have a meat and a gem, and you also have this blue star. And what this star is saying is there is an alternative cost on this card. And you can play this alternate cost down here. This one says, so this is the obstinate plumed coatl. The alternate cost is ignore this dragon's cost if you have played at least 2 hatchlings, a specific type of card. So this gives you a way to kind of work around this threshold. If you don't want to, if you want to, you can pay the cost as normal, or you can find an alternative way to pay this cost. It was really fun, I think. Well, this was a little challenge that I issued to the designer Connie, and it was really fun to see the ideas that she came up with to let players feel a little sneaky, well, not really sneaky, to feel clever in terms of how they found loopholes out of paying the cost for cards like this. So I really like that. That's on, I think, around a dozen cards in the game. The biggest addition, let's stay on cards. Let's talk about probably the biggest addition to the card, which is there is a new type of dragon in the game, and these are called fledgling dragons. These dragons look like this. They have a purple area at the bottom of the card that you ignore. You don't do anything with that until you have fully trained this dragon. That is the Dragon Academy aspect of this expansion. So what happens is, whenever you go exploring in a cave where this dragon exists, this is the guileless dragonette. Whenever you go exploring on this cave, the first time you go exploring there, if you'd like, you can start to train this dragon by paying the cost in this first black square. So this says discard a cave card from your hand, pay a cave card. And you just, when you do that, you put a cube here. Then the next time you go exploring, if you can pay this dragon card from hand, just discard a dragon card, you can move the cube over. And then the next time, or in a future time, when you have another spare cave card to pay, then you can move the cube here. And when you do that, you have completely trained that dragon. And then from then on, you have this ability. This particular ability, and many of these abilities, are end of game abilities. This one says gain +2 points for each helpful dragon on your player mat. So gain extra points for helpful dragons, giving you a goal to seek out for and to pursue in the game. And so in addition to this, though, so you have this process over multiple turns where you are training the dragon and building them up until they're fully trained, and then they are better. They're more useful for you in this game. But there are also a lot of abilities in this game. There's some on cave cards, there's some on other dragon cards that let you kind of cheat your way around these costs. And maybe it says like just move the token up for free, and so on. So there might be some costs that are more expensive. These are actually, discarding cards isn't too bad in this game, but sometimes there's like maybe a coin cost, and you get to feel really good when you find the loophole to move the token onto that coin cost without actually paying the cost using some other ability. I'm going to show one other example here, because while many of these are end of game abilities, there are some other abilities that apply throughout the game. For example, here, the capable dragonette. This says if you have fully trained it, and actually this one is very easy to fully train. It does have a coin cost, so it's expensive, but maybe you can find a loophole around that cost. Once they're fully trained, with even just a single training, this dragon's ready to go. At the end of the round, at the end of each round, you get to lay 3 eggs on this dragon. Now they only have a 3-egg capacity, so you need to find a way to spend those eggs during the round. But this is really powerful, and I actually really like the art on this card as well. And I believe there are a few other dragons. There's a lot of fledglings in the game, and in this expansion, and a number of them. While a number of them are end of game, there are also a number of them that are like end of round. I believe there's some when explored abilities as well. yeah, some really neat ways to train your dragon and then really feel like you have a fully trained dragon at that point. The last addition to the game, the last big addition to the game, is a replacement. So when you have Dragon Academy, you are going to get rid of the original goal board or achievement board, whatever we call it. What do we call it? We call it the round tracker board. I didn't get it either way. You are going to replace it with this new folding round tracker board that has something really special on it. One noticeable difference is down here. Whenever you pass out of round 1 or 2 or 3, the final pass out of round 4 doesn't really matter, but when you pass for rounds 1 and 2, at that moment when you choose to pass, and this is a game where you can choose to pass out of the round, even if you have coins left over, you could take more actions, you can choose to pass early if you want. When you choose to pass, you place your adventurer meeple, so this signals to all other players that you have passed. You place it on one of these squares, and at that moment, you don't gain anything. This is income, so you're going to gain this at the end of round steps. At the moment, you don't gain anything, but you are claiming this income for the end of the round. So they can range from, here's 5 coins and 2 eggs. Here's just 6 coins. Here's 5 coins, an egg, and a Dragon Guild movement. So there's a broad range of them, and there's also a different set of them that you gain after you pass out of round 3. So they get a little bit stronger as the game goes on for round 3. This one's round 1 and 2. This is round 3. And this addresses a lot of things that we heard about feedback from the core game, with maybe the primary thing being that players who were able to gain more coins just tended to have more power in the game. And the game ended up maybe could go a little bit long because players had almost too many actions. I don't know if you recall, but in the original game, when you passed, you got 6 coins and 1 egg. By our calculations, the right number of coins for like the length of the game and the number of actions we wanted the players to take was actually closer to like 5.5. So it wasn't quite 6, but it also wasn't quite 5. And so that's why split between all these different choices are some 5 coin actions, but also some 6 coin actions. And when they are 5 coins, you're gaining more than just 1 egg. And that was the other piece of feedback that we received a number of times really, was that players, because it's fairly hard to get eggs in Wyrmspan, you aren't flush with eggs like you are in Wingspan, that players sometimes just were in a pinch and needed ways to get more eggs. And that's why, especially at the end of the game, there are these larger egg categories. And last, really, this gives players a little bit of a feeling of choice and agency when they pass. So if you are a player who passes before other players, that can sometimes feel bad in Wyrmspan. You didn't have as many actions as the other players. But now we give you a feel-good moment because you get to choose your income before the other players get to choose that. So I really like how this round tracker board ended up being implemented into this expansion. Those are the 3 big things: being able to play some cards for free, the whole fledgling category of dragons to train, and also the new round tracker board, in addition to a lot of just more stuff that you can shuffle into your copy of Wyrmspan. I'm so excited for you to play. I'm excited to hear about the stories that you tell through Dragon Academy. And let me know if you have any questions in the comments below. Thanks.